Are you ready?
Quit time!
We are the best in the world at what we do.
It's the PriMalLow Wrestling Show with Robert Price, Tom Malloy, and your host, Rich Lopez.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of February 2016. I'm your host, Rich Lopez, here with my two colleagues, Tom Malloy and Robert Price.
Hello. Number 44.
44, I didn't say it, I apologize, but, sequential order, I think we all got it. But, we're heading close to Fastlane. Raw was an indicator of that, with Brock Lesnar making his one of few appearances. So we're obviously going to recap Raw, and then as always, our topic discussion, really Diva division heavy, thanks to a request from my good old colleague here, Tom Malloy, who is very anti-Diva. So when I got this request, I had to take advantage of it. It is in regards to Nikki Bella and her surgery, which was successful, by the way, and the Divas division. Is it stronger now than when it was initially in the summer of 2015?
We're also going to have a PriMalLow mailbag where we're not going to be phoning in. We're going to be taking a question from you, the viewer. And also wrestling booking. Who would you like to see face the Undertaker this year at WrestleMania?
Then we're going to conclude with our self-high five. We decided to pick our favorite Bret Hart matches because we found out today online that Bret Hart is undergoing a battle with prostate cancer.
Yes, a very, very serious illness, obviously. We wish him the best, and just got to support the legend.
Got to keep on keeping on.
The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. But after this short break, we're going to proceed with the show as always with a Raw recap, so stay tuned.
It's a new day, yes it is!
New Day Rocks.
Huh?
New Day Rocks.
One more time now.
New Day Rocks.
Okay, now.
I wish we had a video. I'd do the little twerking thing that Kofi and Big E does. Excuse me, but
I'm gyrating in my seat right now, so it's all good.
You are, I see it. But New Day, they closed out the show, but we'll get to that a little bit in a couple minutes. But I just want to start off by Malloy and Price giving me your overall thoughts on Raw as a whole. Tom, how about you?
I think it was the best Raw of February so far. So,
Nice.
But yeah, it was a good Raw. It was definitely better than past couple of Raws, past few weeks. Even with the Go Home edition of Royal Rumble, it was still, I think, a better overall product to watch.
There you go.
What's the stars?
Yeah, give us a 1 through 10 scale like always. I think our fans
I won't be
live
like
for this now.
I won't be like Bret Hart and give a 4 out of 10 like he does for every match. But
Ooh.
He does
instead,
everything. He does everything with the Triple H hate.
Yeah.
I can definitely still feel it.
Exactly. But I'd say 7 out of 10.
Ooh.
Good Raw.
It's not too bad
It's
for a
good
Raw. Not too bad. Price, what was your overall score before we get into the specifics?
My overall score? I don't give scores.
Well, what'd you
I
think?
give results.
There you
And
go.
I thought it was okay. I thought it was good enough, but I expected more WrestleMania season.
Yeah, I agree. You think we'll pick up after Fastlane at least? I
Yes,
think
I
it
would
has
hope
to.
so.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
Maybe unfortunately.
They should try building up the biggest show of the year, at least for 2.
It's not the biggest show anymore, I think. I think creative has realized that, but we'll talk about that as it gets near, just because of all the injuries. But I have 4 things here. We could add a 5th one with the Divas thing with Sasha and Becky later. But start off with AJ Styles and Miz. I feel like I told you guys before we just started this. I feel like, because Tom said that they're going to bury AJ in the end. I actually agree with him. Price, to give us your thoughts after I finish this. Don't you feel like if they're making a very big deal for no reason about everything he does?
Yes.
Okay. Well, why?
Because, just like Price said before the show started, it's his first time doing everything in the WWE.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, because they're saying Madison Square Garden debut, SmackDown debut, Raw debut.
Probably wrestled in the Garden before at TNA.
Probably did. I don't know. He might have, but I'm sure he's been there. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, it's their organization, so they want to amp it up. But I just feel like if you're going to say that he's been around the whole world, don't make everything his debut because everybody knows, especially the hardcore wrestling fans, they already know it's not. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, Price, give us your thoughts.
I don't think that they're going to bury him in the end. I believe that they're trying to reach for stars at this point, and they seen as soon as AJ came out the actual response he got. And Triple H is smarter than Vince in that sense of
he knows what fans
other
want.
stars from other organizations. They just want to see people wrestle.
Exactly. And
I believe with AJ Styles, what they're trying to put him as is a Daniel Bryan kind of feel, but with them saying this debut, they're trying to put some sort of emphasis on every single little thing.
Yeah.
And it's working.
I agree with you, I guess. I can see where you're coming from with the Daniel Bryan thing since Miz actually brought that up. I don't know if you realize. Remember he said that.
Oh, he did.
Yeah. Do you think they're trying to build his mic skills or something or anything like that?
Yeah, because I don't think he had much of that in TNA.
No.
And you wouldn't have that in New Japan Pro Wrestling because it's more oriented on the way you appeal to the fans, not the way you speak to the fans.
Yeah.
Right. And also, there's no Claire Lynch in WWE, so no crappy storylines.
Yeah. So, I think they're having a match on SmackDown, Miz and AJ Styles, based on what happened. But I think after that, based on the backstage interview that Chris Jericho had with Renee Young, there's going to be a match either in the next couple Raws or on Fastlane, or maybe they'll build it to WrestleMania. Would you guys want to see it on Fastlane or Mania?
Fastlane.
Fastlane.
I want to see it at Fastlane with the match that we seen on Raw last week.
Yeah, like
it
I
was
said,
super sloppy. I'm going to say it that Chris Jericho looked really sloppy with that. I don't know if it was AJ Styles trying to learn the system in WWE. However, Chris Jericho is that same kind of cat. I mean, he was all over the world. He knows how to wrestle 15 different ways.
Maybe that was a test run. If it worked out to the audience, even though there was some general sloppy spots,
The audience loved it.
Overall went really well. So maybe they just set it up for a pay-per-view, maybe. But next, the Wyatt family. Everybody knows that. What was it? Blackjack. What was his name? I can't.
Blackjack Mulligan.
Mulligan. I was gonna say Mulligan. I don't know if it was. I was gonna say Rotunda, but obviously he's the grandfather of the Rotundas. Bray and Bo Dallas, the sons of IRS. If you want to keep going down the family tree, but Bray wasn't there because he was hospitalized. Blackjack Mulligan was, and him and Bo were off TV. I guess there supporting him. So, what do you guys think of the Wyatt family without Bray? Because it's not really that big of a deal. But I have my take on it. I thought I would definitely contradict with one of you guys or argue one of you guys. So go ahead, Price.
I thought they looked like a 3-man wrecking crew.
Yeah. Did you like it though? Like,
I did like it.
Did it look serious enough?
They destroyed the Big Show. They actually picked him up.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Like nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, Eric Rowan was doing that way before that, but to see that Braun Strowman actually is a strong man and actually show his strength on
his strength. I get it.
Show.
I get it.
Yep.
Moy, what do you think about it?
I like the fact that Luke Harper was the leader. That's something I could see someday if they turn their backs on Bray Wyatt. That would be the new leader of it.
Yeah.
But without them, I mean, I felt as though like it was kind of irrelevant because they're the Wyatt family and Bray Wyatt not being there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but still, at the same point, like circumstance that was good. They showed how powerful they were as a group. They're still dominant. They don't really need Bray to be a dominant faction in the WWE.
Okay, yeah, I agree. Pretty much with you. So I'm iffy. I didn't like it at first because the entrance was kind of weird because I think without the lantern, it's whatever.
It loses its mystique value.
Yeah, kind of. Just for me personally. I don't know how other people feel about it. But I really think that if they were ever to turn and go heel, I think they could set up a really good rivalry with them and Bray for a couple months. And Harper, like you said, Tom, was really good at leading. I know you're a Harper fan. Did you like him in the leader position?
Oh yeah. I mean, it was. He's a very talented wrestler.
Yeah.
And he proved that with that short period of time they did break away from Bray Wyatt, and he was able to capture the IC title.
Yes.
He's a man that you could throw a title on, a man that you could trust when you're inside the
Definitely,
ring.
even if it's like the U.S. title, you know what I mean? Like, that's obviously the third lowest, but if you put on him and he could actually perform a couple good matches, I mean, that would be really good. I wouldn't be too disappointed if they broke up the Wyatt family and made Bray face. Because I was saying, he can go face and start doing those intros like he used to. Remember, he would say the city or whatever, we're here. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
That would get a good pop because they used to when he was a bad guy. So if he did that, that'd be a good little feud maybe going into SummerSlam or next year's WrestleMania or whatever, stuff like that. I also didn't have this one down, but the Marty Jannetty response. Did you see that?
I didn't get to read what he said, but I heard the Marty Jannetty response, and I know he said something. I don't know.
It was
exactly what he
hysterical.
said.
So I have to. Stephanie McMahon had a backstage segment with Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, and she said that every good, stable or group of guys that are like brothers or friends always get their backs turned on them. She mentioned Marty Jannetty with Shawn Michaels, Randy Orton with Evolution, and then Seth Rollins with The Shield. So I guess, I don't know if it was last night or this morning, but Marty Jannetty said I forget. I'm just paraphrasing here. Something about what she said. Are you sure those kids are even Triple H's? Like, why would you even go that personal? So I was like, I had to just include that so I could talk about that tweet because that's hysterical. But this thing, I don't understand why Marty Jannetty is so sensitive because he's been known as the
sidekick to Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, or like the fallen away guy. Even though he was very talented, obviously. I think when they were in the Rockers in the beginning, I think he was more talented than Shawn.
Yeah.
Just that one that
he was older. He had that older, I guess been on the block a little bit longer than Shawn Michaels was.
But do you think I know we've been saying this for months. But I don't know if you guys saw how like Dean said Stephanie said to Dean Ambrose, "Do you enjoy being Roman Reigns' sidekick?" And then Dean Ambrose said, "Actually, Roman Reigns is my sidekick."
Most of the time, though, he said
that's true. Like I just think something's gonna happen.
I don't think they're gonna break up.
I don't think they can because the storyline's at hand. Like you're building Reigns up for a title, so he has to stay good guy because he's facing the heel of Mania.
I don't think they're ever gonna break up.
No.
No.
So you're finally the first one to break out of all three of us about the non-heel turn.
I think it's going to be like how John Cena versus Triple H and Shawn Michaels were at that. I forget what pay-per-view that was at for the WWE title.
Oh, Survivor Series.
Yeah. Right, where as soon as the match started, Shawn Michaels super kicked Triple H.
And got cheered. That'd be Ambrose because Ambrose is going to get cheered no matter what he does. But
he'll give dirty deeds to Roman Reigns as soon as it starts and run right after Lesnar.
Yeah, exactly.
And then didn't Triple H put Shawn Michaels to the table during that match too?
Yeah, at the end.
So
they'll probably mimic that match or use it as a template. That's actually a really good comparison. I like that. But yeah, I just want to talk about that. It was something really crazy. And then the stare down with Triple H and Lesnar, it actually looked pretty cool if it wasn't done 3 years ago at Mania. But on the main event, what do you guys think about it? Of course, Ambrose and Reigns beat New Day. Then Lesnar came out, F5'd Ambrose. Do you think they're trying to give Ambrose like some sympathy with the crowd, or what do you guys think they're trying to do with that?
I think they're trying to make Ambrose look strong because look how good he did. I think he performed better than Roman Reigns did in that match. He took the fight to Big E, he took the fight to Kofi Kingston. He beat the crap out of Xavier Woods. Mm-hmm. Roman Reigns, I don't. To me, he wasn't a memorable component to that match.
Yeah, he got the hot tag, but then he wrestled a little bit longer, and then Dean Ambrose got the hot tag again. So I was really confused. They usually don't do that, but
it's just showing how strong Dean Ambrose can be. So they want because they don't have the star power, and Dean Ambrose necessarily isn't the biggest guy in the locker room. Mm-mm. But that shows he could stand with Lesnar and Roman Reigns because he's a nutcase. That's what they're more or less booking him as. It's pretty much like if they ever give Brian Pillman a huge push for the title, if they ever did that.
I say if they ever did.
Yeah, if they ever did, yeah.
Price, what do you think about that?
I feel as though that Dean Ambrose was always better than Roman Reigns. I mean, we're just going back to that, but I mean, they're labeling him as the Iron Man of the WWE.
Yeah,
which I kind of feel as though is weird.
I think it's well deserved, though.
I don't know.
It's still
Iron
weird
Man.
that he's saying it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, who was the last person to say that? I think it was like Cesaro.
Something like that. I don't even think it would be Dean Ambrose. I think he's like, obviously he does more physical matches, but he doesn't do it endurance-wise.
No.
Anyways, I think that, Dean Ambrose, they're trying to, like Tom said, with the injury, they're just trying to build him up, build up some sort of stars, as I said earlier, reaching for stars. Mm-hmm. He's obviously, with the hardcore wrestling and the hardcore wrestling fans, he's popular enough that if they put that title on him, or if they had him win and going into WrestleMania, it would turn enough heads.
Okay, real quick, just before we close out, I just want a real serious answer, no explanation. Well, minimal explanation. I can't close out without an explanation. Ambrose, will he win? Triple threat match at Fastlane. Malloy.
Yes.
Okay.
No.
No? Does he lose the title on the way to WrestleMania, the IC title, or do you think he's going in as champion for title?
Going as title for title.
Okay, so obviously you said no. I'm going to say no. I want to say yes, but no. Hope you guys enjoyed that. When we come back from this short little PSA, we're going to continue the show with our topic discussion and the Divas Division thanks to a special request from Thomas Malloy. So stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Robert from the PriMalLow Wrestling Show, here to tell you about our Twitter account. Follow our page at PriMalLow Show for fan interaction regarding professional wrestling. Thank you, and we can't wait to hear from you.
Welcome back to episode number 44. Time for our topic discussion. As I previously mentioned, the biggest anti-Divas Division guy here, especially in our little crew here, Tom Malloy, texted me last night, and I was like, what do you want to talk about on the show? And he says, the Divas Division. He's like, I'm a big fan of it right now. I'm like, all right, well, I got to take advantage of this while we can. So, and then obviously, I guess going along with that was Nikki Bella, who had a successful back surgery. I didn't get a timetable on that though. I didn't get to read any reports. Do you know by any chance?
She had neck surgery.
Yeah,
well,
but
my bad. Neck.
Okay.
You're right.
I was just
No,
confused. I was confused.
That's my fault. It was neck. I apologize.
it wasn't as major. So let's
6
say
to 9 months.
6, not like every other surgery, maybe.
Yeah, but it's only going to be like 4 to 5 months.
But she'll miss Mania.
Full.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's definitely missing Mania if she had neck surgery. Like.
Oh, true.
now.
She had like last week. That's right. Okay. Well, anyway, do you think when she comes back, Nikki Bella, that is, what role do you think she'll come back as? Do you think she'll come back as a wrestler, a manager? You know, like Eva Marie, remember, or not Eva Marie, Eve Torres, was that her name? Remember when she came as like the general manager, or whatever? Just trying to throw some options out there. What do you guys think she'll come back as? Somebody.
Okay, I'll go. I think she's gonna come back when Cena comes back, and they're gonna come back as a super couple, and she's gonna win the Divas title, and he's gonna win the world title for the 16th time.
So you're saying they're gonna be faces though, like a face
Yeah,
couple?
yeah,
Because usually
face
when
couple.
it comes to power couples, it's heel.
Yeah, but they're gonna be like that face, like we're like Superman and Wonder Woman, and then they're gonna go against Triple H and Stephanie McMahon.
That'd be pretty cool, I guess. Price, how about you? What do you think she's coming back as?
John Cena's wife.
Oh,
Oh, come on, Tom. You stole my thunder.
I'm sorry. Good,
Anyways.
good participation on both you guys, though.
Yeah, thanks. I think that she'll come back as a wrestler. I think that she'll. I think they're building it up as like Brie Bella versus Charlotte. And Charlotte's gonna destroy Brie Bella, and then Nikki's gonna be like, "Don't be beating up my sister." Then come back, and, you know.
Oh, she doesn't come back in that voice. That'd be kind of weird.
That means she was probably drinking a lot of Cena juice.
That's absolutely disgusting.
Nah,
that's not PG.
That's not PG.
I'm talking about like steroids, but okay.
All right, cool.
That's not PG. Like I
So,
said.
technically, it's still not PG, but whatever. I think she'll come back as a wrestler too, but I don't think it'll be for a long. She might have like one run at the Divas title, but she won't win it. So we'll see how that is. Because the Diva roster is too deep, she doesn't need to. I think what she'll end up becoming after that small little run will be a manager. Because I've always said whenever Cena turns heel, which I think is going to happen because it will give him more relevance for an extra couple years. Whenever he turns heel, that's when Nikki Bella will come back and be like a manager of some sort. Just my opinion, I don't know. But let's go back. I just said the Diva division is pretty deep, so let's just talk about that. There's a lot of good wrestlers now. Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Sasha, Paige, Natalya, if she wants to get thrown in there. We've always said Naomi's athletic. Her mic skills are a little but Tamina's also very underrated. So it's very, very deep right now. Do you guys think it's better now than when it was when the quote-unquote Divas Revolution came in back in August or July? Emily?
I think definitely going off of what you said a few episodes back, or maybe it might be multiple episodes back, the fact that when the Divas division, this Divas Revolution started, it wasn't that great because it was just teams versus teams versus teams. Now it's every woman for themselves. Yeah. And that's the interesting part to me. Like, all right, I saw Sasha Banks come out last night. I'm like, Team Bad's getting back together or whatever. To me, that turning point, that put a storyline into the wrestling matches. Because I always felt the Divas matches, they put on a hell of a show, but there's no storyline to it. There's no reason for it. Everything they do is just compete for the title. And when you're watching pro wrestling, you're looking for that storyline, that soap opera impact in there.
Yeah.
And that's what they put that in there last night. And now that it's every woman for themselves, I could see more turning of the faces, more heel turns, face turns, and that's what I look for when I watch pro wrestling.
Yes. I can't obviously disagree with you. I enjoy that point. Price, how about you?
I think it's better now. When the Divas Revolution first started with, Paige coming up and everything else, it was crammed down our throats with the whole thing of, divas, look at the times, look at this, beat the clock challenge, which is a double standard there because beat the clock challenge, you're actually having shorter matches.
Yeah, we talked about that.
But anyways, I think that now it could be a little bit deeper with certain kind of divas. You have a couple higher up divas.
No, you have more of like a roster.
I mean,
you have like a mid-card roster.
If you look at the divas that will be coming up from like NXT, you have Bayley, Carmella, you have Asuka, you have Nia Jax, you have Alexa Bliss. I mean, and Blue Pants, the best diva of all.
I love Carmella.
I thought she left.
She's
independent
on the clearance rack. Okay, she can come back anytime.
For you, if you're at NXT,
she's fine.
I love Carmella.
Yeah.
I think she needs to come up ASAP, along with
Enzo and
Big
Colin
Cass.
Cassidy.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna.
But
happen,
no, I think the Divas division is a lot better now, and a lot more interesting.
Okay, this leads me to my question that I've been saying, I think since like Survivor Series, because I thought it should happen in 2016, the start of it, like at the Rumble, but it didn't happen. Even if it was a pre-show, so technically I guess it would be 2 matches on a card. Do you think there should be more than one Divas match on a pay-per-view card, considering how deep the roster is, and to possibly boost morale in the Divas division, Price?
Should there be? Yes.
Do you think they will?
No, because you don't have enough star power right now.
Do you think? Okay, so say Cena, Orton, Rollins, Cesaro come back. Yes or no?
No.
Still no?
Still no.
Okay, why?
Because you don't have enough star power in the Divas division.
Oh, and I'm sorry, the Diva. I think you meant the whole
for
bathroom breaks and stuff. I guess as everybody likes to call them.
You know, Charlotte versus Sasha Banks. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch versus who? Natalia.
Paige.
We've seen that before.
Paige.
We've seen that before.
When?
Becky Lynch versus Paige.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
That's not a match that like. Oh my God, I need to see that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's like,
If
whatever.
it's booked the right way.
Right, but you're gonna have to use TV time that they're not gonna use because they're trying to push over Roman Reigns, they're trying to push over Dean Ambrose, they're trying to push over Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
So this is a hard period to have those 2 matches. I think maybe after Mania they might try to do that on maybe those like smaller cards, but not right now.
No. Okay. But you'd wanted to see it though.
I would love to see it. Yes.
Okay. Malloy, how about you?
I would love to see it also like have like a tag match and then have a match for the title. It works itself out, and 6 divas are getting a chance.
Yeah, but at the same time, you can't really just put teams together because there's no.
That's just totally contradictory.
It's contradictory
what we're
what
all
you
saying.
I'm saying
what
too,
he's
like,
saying too
just
about
say-
storytelling.
Here, just say too though. You know how who's in Team Bad? Not Snuka. Who's the other girl?
Naomi.
Yeah. Now say Snuka,
you terrible at names,
Snuka
bro.
and Naomi versus Lynch and Sasha Banks. That's a match. That's
Yeah,
a match.
but-
And then you have
that's
you have
not-
a Diva title match. Just saying how those two work together.
Yeah, but they can't do that every pay-per-view, dude.
No, not every I'm just saying building up to like Fastlane, for instance.
Okay, but I'm just saying. All right, take out this one because that's just how the storyline's happening.
Yeah.
Do you just want to see 2 single matches?
I would love to see 2 single matches, yeah. I mean, if they could do it in the UFC, they could do it in the WWE.
That makes sense. I didn't even think about that.
I also think that if they were shorter matches, that'd be awesome. If it's like a 7-minute match,
Like 2 10-minute matches.
yeah,
that makes
then
sense.
you have 2 matches.
I think it's
NXT
better.
does it and it works.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Like, they have do it in 2 hours.
You don't need 20
5
minutes
matches. You don't.
to have a match.
You don't. I completely agree. And the thing, too, that kind of kills me is, like, I really wish... I kind of like what they did this past year. Like, and I'm going off topic real quick, but I think it could also include another random match. I really think they should get rid of Night of Champions, the pay-per-view, because I think the title should be defended every pay-per-view. Every
Remember
title
when
should be
Shawn Michaels
defended.
had to fight Triple H for the European title because it wasn't defended every 30 days?
Yeah, that's what I mean. So, but another thing is, so that's like already 5 matches. Make number 1 contenders matches on those, and there's already
more important.
there's
yeah.
already 8 to 9 matches there. So that's
There
what I'm
you go.
thinking. That's what I mean. Like, make the matches really important that make every pay-per-view must see. And that's where the 2 Divas matches can come in. Now, to your point, Tom, instead of tag team matches, why not put 5? You know, do a triple threat match or something like that for the number 1 contenders, or a triple threat match for the title, and then do a singles match. Like, there's ways to make everybody on the card and then make the matches relevant. Do you
Yeah,
know
they
what I
can
mean?
even have like an over-the-top rope challenge for who's going to be the number 1 contender.
If on a random month, yeah, exactly. So I really do hope that they do 2 matches, like you guys both just said. Will they now? Price, you did make a good point that they're trying to build stars for Mania right now, so it's probably not going to happen on Fastlane. Maybe WrestleMania the pre-show, since that's an hour pre-show. I'm thinking.
Well, that's the thing. When you have these cards, you have WrestleMania, you have SummerSlam, and they just add another hour.
It's for no reason.
For no reason, and then they just, oh yeah, we're gonna talk for.
That's what I mean.
Have another match.
Exactly. That's what I mean. So maybe I'm hoping for SummerSlam or Mania since the pre-shows are an hour, but like you said, I think they are. I didn't even think about that. Like the star power is kind of low right now, so you have to build Reigns to get 3 more cheers so we can get the title. When we come back, it's time to answer your questions, the audience's questions, in our next segment called PriMalLow Mailbag. So stay tuned when we come back. Hey, I'm Rich Lopez from the PriMalLow Wrestling Show. Don't forget to hear our new episodes of the PriMalLow Wrestling Show on SoundCloud. Episodes are uploaded every Tuesday night. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome back to our third segment on episode 44. It is our PriMalLow Mailbag. And as always, before we get straight into this segment, I like to bring up the social media. Price, you want to toss it? You want to give the outlooks here?
Yeah, sure. I'll give them.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Give me a break here for a second.
You can catch us on Twitter at PriMalLow Show. Catch us on SoundCloud. Just search The PriMalLow Wrestling Show. Facebook, The PriMalLow Wrestling Show. Our Facebook group, The PriMalLow Wrestling Show group. On Blogger, PriMalLowWrestlingShow.blogspot.com. And on YouTube, The PriMalLow Wrestling Show. Just search it for episodes
that you
blah,
want,
blah, blah.
that you want to hear. And before we get into the specific question, which we got from Mike Danilovich, thank you, by the way, we have a lot of interaction, I noticed, on our Facebook group, so definitely look that up. We have Sean Kelmer, who talked about National Pro Wrestling Day 2016. Was it Chikara? Chikara, sorry. You always said it rhymes with Chikara.
It's the main event is Kimberly versus Mickey James, Diva match for the belt.
Yep, it's for fundraiser, and a lot of indie stars will be there. Also, I've noticed there's a lot of videos from let me look down here real quick, but I was gonna say you, Price. I know you did. It was a really good one, the Dead Wrestlers Beach.
Oh yeah,
it was really, really cool. I like that one a lot.
ADHD. It's kind of like a Mad TV kind of deal thing. It's on Fox.
It was really cool. It was really cool.
On
I liked
Saturdays.
it a lot. I watched it twice actually. It was just really cool.
Yeah.
Joe Ferdinand.
John Ferdinand.
Oh my bad, John. My bad. I was looking at something else. I'm trying to look at my Facebook to search these down. I apologize. John Ferdinand. He posted this sick NXT artwork. Did you see that?
Oh yeah.
The anime thing. It was really cool. Yeah, it was really cool. I don't know which one's my favorite. I'm looking at it right now. I'm thinking the Finn Balor one, of course, is my favorite. I like Bayley right in the middle. And then, what else we got? Mike Danilovich talked about Lillian Garcia's mess up, which, remember, on our
on his birthday.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, happy birthday for you.
Yes, happy birthday. So we have a lot of good stuff there. And then periodically throughout the week, everybody just posts a picture of their favorite wrestler, I've noticed.
Yeah.
I did The Rock. Somebody did Eddie Guerrero. I don't know who it was. I can't think of it.
John Ferdinand.
Oh, was it? Yeah. And then you did Triple H, right?
Yeah, and he won the Rumble.
Yeah, he did. That's right. So I love the activity on there. Keep it up. We love interacting with you guys. So
and somebody else should join.
So a lot more people should join. At least, if not on the group, at least on the page. If not on the page, at least on the group. And we'll take Twitter too.
Yeah.
We're not that picky.
We're not
picky or greedy. So just like I said, keep them coming. We love interacting with you guys.
Nice.
Now on to the question. Mike Danilovich asked us this.
You think it's a good idea or not to hire legends for short tours, especially in areas that they were popular? For example, you might hire Tommy Dreamer if you did the tri-state area, especially places where ECW was really popular. Stuff like that.
All right, like I said, happy belated birthday if your birthday was yesterday. And I'm glad
you got birthday, Mike.
I'm glad you got that great Lillian Garcia birthday gift. So, meaning the screw up, because you talked about that in our PriMalLow Mailbag a couple weeks ago. So what do you guys think about this? You think legends should be a part of, the live events where it's in their specific territories? Price, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I love that idea. Yeah. I mean, it worked back in the 80s when they did have the territories, and it gives you that happy, warm, fuzzy feeling when you see like Ric Flair if you're down south, or especially how he said about Tommy Dreamer. You see Tommy Dreamer in Philadelphia, I mean, the guy is a celebrity.
Yeah.
But in California, he might not be.
Of course not. I mean, the concept is obviously there. I agree with you. Molly, what do you think?
I think it's great. I think it brings a special feeling to the fans, like Price said over there. Even look at the pop that Bubba Ray Dudley got at the Royal Rumble. I think he got one of the loudest pops besides Daniel Bryan when we were.
Oh, there. The Rumble specifically, yeah, I completely agree with you. The thing I like about it, because I agree with you guys, is the live events don't get. I'm saying specifically for live event purposes. They're not televised, so you already lost the thrill of possibly being on television or a pay-per-view. But if you have that special guy, you can at least tell your friends, hey, I don't know, Ric Flair came down.
When The Rock came out at Brooklyn.
Exactly. It's exactly.
And he just rock bottomed
Bo Dallas.
You never. Oh yeah, that's right. It was Bo Dallas. But you never know what's going to happen at a live event. And it gives you that surprise factor, which is the number one thing for a successful.
Fan interaction, I guess,
thing,
like that. Especially with social media now, do you know what I mean?
Right.
If you're on Instagram and you just do a hashtag like WWE or WWE NXT or something like that, like Kevin Owens just came out in Milwaukee, I remember I saw. So if you're there and you're like, oh, if I go to this event that's coming here in 2 weeks, maybe somebody will show up. Do you know what I mean? So it definitely brings a good participation, unpredictable value to the live events.
This is also a good time to notice that March 20th, live event coming to our area. We should got to check it out.
We definitely should. That's Wilkes-Barre.
Wilkes-Barre, if anyone's interested in it or does not know about it yet.
Yeah, definitely.
So don't be sour.
Come on and feel the power.
Okay.
Do you think, just to touch on this a little bit more, do you think they should do special appearances like you said, like the Rock thing, like it's not really a match, depending obviously on the superstar and if they're still like physically able to. Yeah. Would you rather them wrestle like Jericho? He had a contract before this Rumble that he only did live events to wrestle. Like, would you rather see a special performer wrestle or just make an appearance?
It doesn't even matter, because I remember a couple of years ago, right after Bob Backlund went into the Hall of Fame, he was doing this thing where he just took pictures with fans.
Yeah.
Before the event started.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, like...
Doesn't matter to you.
That, I got to meet Bob Backlund. I mean, like, come on.
To me, that's cooler than actually watching him wrestle.
Well, that's a fact with him, yeah. So say Orton's like a part-timer.
That's fine. I would love to meet Orton.
Or me just meet him? Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
I agree.
Or else he could come out and just, RKO somebody and leave.
Cool,
he could RKO me. It's cool me.
Yeah, that's fine.
Out of nowhere.
It's kind of weird, but anyway. I'm a big Orton fan. I don't even think I let him do that. Unknowingly. But no, I completely agree with you guys.
Well, it has to come out of nowhere, because if not, then,
No, I'm going to make it known that it's somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Out of somewhere. But,
all right.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I'd rather, I guess it'd be more special if it was just a special appearance, especially if it's like a legend, so.
Right.
Thank you for that question. As always, post the questions on our social media sites like Price mentioned before. We love talking to you guys, and we'll even answer them throughout the week if you post them tomorrow or on Wednesday or Thursday, where we have 5 days away, So, especially we'll take questions for WrestleMania season because we love that season. So, thank you guys.
It's a holiday season.
It's a wrestling holiday season. But like I said, thank you guys. When we come back, it is time for our WrestleMania booking.
Damn it.
Price butchered it in the on the card segment, the opening
segment. As Ron
segment.
Simmons would say,
damn. Which is a good legend, by the way. But when we come back, it's WrestleMania booking. Who will face Undertaker? Stay tuned.
Hey, I'm Tom Malloy from the PriMalLow Wrestling Show. Do you like Facebook? Do you like wrestling? Like our page. Search the PriMalLow Wrestling Show. Enjoy.
Welcome back. It is time for our new segment, WrestleMania booking. You will hear this segment a lot, pretty much up until WrestleMania 32, until we actually preview the entire card the week before. What we're pretty much going to do is just matches that we hear rumblings about on rumor mills, on websites and stuff like that. We'll just talk about pretty much if we agree with it and who we would have, I guess, substitute the quote supposed spot. This week regards the Undertaker, the Phenom, the 22-1. Is that what it is?
Correct.
Sounds so weird, doesn't it?
Yes.
So weird. Anyway, it's a great record, but so that phenomenal record will be put on the line against what we hear to be Braun Strowman. I told Price before the show, you weren't here yet, boy. I was really upset. I was actually happy, but now I'm back to being upset because before I went to work today, I read a report that Braun Strowman is no longer facing Taker. So I was like, all right, good. But then on the way here, I read 2 reports that it is still Braun Strowman. So I
also read that Braun Strowman was going to wrestle Lesnar, which is even more upsetting to me.
Yeah, I agree. But let's just get right into it. We have 2 options. I mainly want your, the first option, but just as a backup for, I guess, more discussion. Price, I know you're a big Undertaker fan. You can start off. Who would you want to see, or who would you book to face Undertaker?
Anybody that listens to the show knows my answer. My answer is Sting.
Which Sting? Not joking.
91 Sting.
No, I'm joking.
No, I would have Sting just because of the simple fact it's a dream match. Have both of them right out to the sun, just like Jim Ross said.
Even on the Ross report, yeah.
Right.
Even though he's in the Hall of Fame, you would still do it?
Even though Sting's going in the Hall of Fame.
Sorry.
Sting would have to win.
I mean, he was... What?
I was
Anyways.
What? No, I was thinking the same exact thing, though. I think he would have to win if he's in the Hall of Fame. No?
Think about it. He was always considered Ric Flair. What happened with Ric Flair? He had his last match the night after he was inducted.
That's true. That's
Sting
very
does
true.
it. Does the same exact thing. Wrestles Undertaker. Rides off to the sunset with him. Maybe they can both catch a plane like they did last year.
Yeah, right?
It'd be awesome.
Here's my debate. Here's my just argument to you, because Price. I love arguing with you.
I know.
But no, here's my thing. The difference between Ric Flair's and Sting's. Ric Flair had a 3-month win streak based on the storyline. Sting is 0-2. Do you think it would still be
Listen.
good to be 0-3? Just you could give me like what? Listen, go ahead.
Listen,
Yeah.
he's on a 1-year losing streak.
That's what I'm saying. So you think 0-3 after being inducted into the Hall of Fame?
No, listen. He is 1-2. He won against Big Show.
Who?
Sting won against Big Show. It was on a Raw.
Yeah, you can picture on Raw.
Charles Robinson was the referee
How come I don't remember that?
because it was a Raw.
That's probably why.
And he was tagged up with Cena.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. I remember that because they did that Make-A-Wish thing after, right?
Right.
Okay, and I remember 1-2. Okay, just based on the one win, I'll give you that then. Who's your backup option?
Kevin Owens.
Why?
Because Kevin Owens deserves it.
I like
That's
to hear
it.
that.
No,
I like to hear that.
Kevin Owens because the fact that he could do a 450 splash,
Yeah.
and also because of the fact that any of the matches that he should have at this point should mean something.
Yeah.
I would have said Cesaro if he was healthy.
Really?
Yeah,
In front of Owens?
in front of Owens.
Okay. Malloy?
I have the Wyatt family.
The whole family.
The whole no.
That's worse.
I have-
than, that's
I
worse
have-
than Big Show at A-Train at 19, man. That's so much worse.
I have no. There's Luke Harper and Bray Wyatt versus Lesnar and Taker.
Oh, a tag
I think
match.
I think
Okay.
that could be a good storyline. Taker's getting roughed up by the Wyatt family. Here comes Taker. Taker's the only person ever beat him in 22 years at the big one. He
Yeah.
aligns himself with him to take out the only thing that's been pissing him off for the past 2.5 years.
I think you just got pissed off.
Go on.
Keep going, though.
So I think that'd just be an overall great match. And you see that the Undertaker and Lesnar have a friendship that breaks kayfabe before, as you see with the Undertaker versus Wyatt match at Mania on the last WrestleMania 24.
Oh, the WWE 24/7.
24/7, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Who's your backup option?
I have
New Day?
No, I have
You're stable,
I
happy.
have the social outcast. No, I'm kidding. But I said Finn Balor.
I like that pick.
I could see
Can't happen, though,
he
unfortunately.
coming up to the main roster, and then all you hear is
I don't think that can happen, though, considering
did,
that the
man.
NXT Dallas is, 2 days before it?
Doesn't matter. I would love to see Finn Balor jump off and put his feet right through Undertaker's chest.
he'd probably kill Undertaker.
You would definitely kill
Undertaker will die in the
Stopped
ring.
his heart.
Although he's deadlifted like 405, I saw.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
anyway.
However, Undertaker is the dead, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I guess it does. It matches a gimmick, I guess.
Unless he's the biker, he comes back, keep rolling.
Yeah.
No!
No, don't ever bring up the biker. The biker was cool for the Attitude Era because it was just so corny, I think, for the dead man. I mean, like 99 to 2. If he had that in 2000 and 2001, like especially during the invasion angle, I don't think I would have been able to buy it. I don't know how you could say against like a whole brand what he's going to do. Anyway, that's totally off topic. My two options, Kevin Owens. I don't know why, just his attitude, excuse me, is just, I think it's just fitting for the hungerness to, well, I wouldn't be beat the streak, but
Are you trying to say that he's hungry? He's a big guy, so he's
no,
hungry?
I'm just saying,
Oh,
like,
okay.
he has hunger he's on the roster. He's
Yeah.
pretty much almost main event level.
He wants
but
to
he
be
like the way his attitude is like during the match is like he wants to steal the show. And obviously when you're facing Taker and you're not in the title match, that's pretty much like the second World Heavyweight title match, I always say.
That's the second main event, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely the second main event. But and that's what I'm saying. Like he would take that opportunity and probably just because everybody knows even if you're on the cusp of main event, like you're unsure what their capabilities are at.
Right.
If you have a good match with Taker, you elevate it.
Right.
So that could just elevate him further, probably into a title picture within like 2 months. And I already think he's ready for one. So this will just be a perfect like stepping stone. My number two reasons why. Because I know at WrestleMania he's gonna get booed because there's a lot of true wrestling fans. But the creative needs, I guess, they were originally gonna do a face, meaning John Cena. So I have Roman Reigns.
Ooh.
Obviously, he's already in the title picture, and he's probably going to be against Triple H. But I would really love to see Dean Ambrose win that triple threat match and have Undertaker versus Reigns.
I don't think I'd like that match.
You don't think you'd like it?
How about you, Tom? Do you think you'd like that match?
Yeah, because I really don't want to see Roman Reigns versus Triple H, honestly. I think that match is going to be ass.
Yeah, I agree with you, I guess, because I think Triple H is going to get cheered the whole match, and obviously as the authority head, he's supposed to be booed the whole match, but
it's like you said, true wrestling fans, like Triple H, I mean, he gave his all to the business.
That's what I mean, like, he's going to get cheered. So I think you need Taker in a match where the opponent's going to get booed, and that's literally, like, that's just Reigns to a T.
Because, I mean, when you really look at it, I mean, you could do a WrestleMania main event with two faces. It's been done before.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, you could have Dean Ambrose versus... And even Lesnar. Lesnar's still going to get... He's going to get cheered, yeah. He's going to get cheered, yeah, without a doubt.
But yeah.
So, the only one's going to get booed would be Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be good for Taker.
Speaking of Ross report, I think Jim Ross said that. It was either that or on his blog. I forgot what it was. He said Roman Reigns will get booed. And he's like, it's...
Well, you know, it takes a rocket scientist to tell you that Roman Reigns is going to get booed.
Well, apparently Creative doesn't get... They don't get it yet, so... But yeah, I mean, I think that would be a cool match to see anyway, because it's a young guy, stuff like that. But when we come back, it's time to close out our show, honoring a legend. After this theme song that you hear, we'll explain why. So stay tuned. It's time for our Self 5 when we come back. Yes, that is a song of legendary Hall of Famer Bret the Hitman Hart, who was just diagnosed, was it yesterday, right, with prostate cancer.
Came out Monday.
Came out. And then, you know what sucks, too? Didn't his brother, Smith, was it Smith Hart, right, last week?
Yeah.
Yes, he just got diagnosed with cancer, too. I realized that. That's crazy. But Bret Hart was known as the best there is, best there was, best there ever will be. Known for thousands of great matches. And I was just telling Price while we were waiting for Malloy before the show, like, we always talk, I feel like our show, we always talk about, like, Hogan, Macho Man, Warrior, Austin Rock, Cena, Michaels, Undertaker,
Triple H.
Sid Vicious. No,
that is it. Like, Bret Hart pretty much was like it was Michaels and Bret Hart, but we never talk about Bret Hart. He's like, I feel like he's underrated because he was such a good wrestler and he was on the mic, so I guess that's kind of forgotten. And he really wasn't a showman, which, I mean, he was known as a technical wrestler, so he didn't need to be a showman. But so I'm kind of intrigued to hear about our Self 5, which is favorite Bret Hart matches, because we never talk about them enough. So I don't think there's gonna be a lot of commonalities. I don't think there might be. We'll find out. But Price, started off 5 through 1. Favorite Bret Hart matches.
My number 5 is Owen Hart Steel Cage match from this SummerSlam 1994. Yeah. My number 4 is Owen Hart from WrestleMania 10. My number 3, right, is the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels.
That's a Vince McMahon voice right there, man.
From WrestleMania 12 when they had that Iron Man match. My number 2 is the Undertaker from Survivor Series 97.
No, SummerSlam 97.
SummerSlam 97, sorry. And then my number 1...
The SS kills you, I know.
Yeah,
it kills me sometimes, too.
And then my number 1 is the British Bulldog from SummerSlam 1992.
I think that was in your favorite matches back when we did our SummerSlam countdown, right?
It was.
It was. The thing with Bret Hart, too, is that he has so many great feuds, it's just hard to decide which matches. You know, Mr. Perfect, Undertaker, Shawn, Austin. I almost said Rock, because whenever you think Austin, you think Rock. But explain the Owen Hart one. Well, give me...
Which one?
Anyone you want. I know you're a big Undertaker fan, so explain that one, because I know the other element in that match was Shawn Michaels. So
Shawn Michaels with that steel chair at the end of the match. But before that, you had this wonderful spot that I loved when I was a kid, that he would put the figure 4 in the corner, and he single-handedly destroyed Undertaker's knees, I believe.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Because he would do that every single time they would ever have a match.
It didn't look good either. Like, it just didn't look right.
Well, he
because he was so long.
Yeah, but when he went to the corner, it was different. Like, he would just jump up and put it on.
Yeah.
And slam down.
Yeah.
Like you could tell it hurt.
Mm-hmm. What other ones do you have?
I had Owen Hart. I want to talk about Owen Hart.
Definitely.
Owen Hart from WrestleMania 10. Great match.
Especially the opener match.
Right. I mean, like, they just started the pace off for WrestleMania 10 to be so high of a standard. And Owen Hart was able to win, but later on in the night.
Perfect booking. It's almost like the Seth Rollins Orton match this year, you know. Whoever loses is going to, if you have a double match, I guess it kind of works out, you know. That's pretty much the feud that put Owen Hart on the map, too, and that's what Bret Hart did. He just elevated talent, even though they had great skills the way it was. Malloy, 5 through 1?
I got Bret Hart versus Bam Bam Bigelow at the King of the Ring. I have the Montreal Screwjob. Hart versus Piper for the IC title at WrestleMania 8.
I don't like you.
I know, it's cool. Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 13. And Bret Hart versus HBK an Iron Man match at WrestleMania 12.
All right, Malloy, can't argue any of those matches on the countdown, so explain as many as you want.
I'll pick Bret Hart versus Bam Bam Bigelow at the King of the Ring. I chose this match because it really put the King of the Ring match on the map. It made a superstar, Bret Hart being the solidified champion that he already was.
Yeah.
It made him into. It made the match itself into being something valuable and something you want to have.
Prestigious.
Prestigious.
That match had a lot of heat in it, so much that you could call it a microwave.
Microwave, yeah. I get it. He just closed the microwave. But any other matches?
I want to say talk about the Austin Bret Hart match, WrestleMania 13. That was by far one of the best WrestleMania matches, I think, in my opinion. To me, it's something that I think about that spot at the end when he makes Austin pass out with the blood gushing down his face. Like that's like, to me, that is like the beginning of like that raw talent that is the Attitude Era. I think it started at 13, not at 14.
Okay, that makes sense.
I really like that feud. It put Austin on the map. It made him into a very big star because the fact that Bret Hart returned from injury, I believe, earlier in that year before Survivor Series.
Yeah, Survivor Series 1996. I'm flustered.
And it also gave Bret Hart a new attitude, I think, in itself. It changed Bret Hart's outlook on things from being like the nice, cool face to being that like, yeah, I'm gonna whoop some butt.
He had a PriMalLow kind of attitude there.
He did. Yeah. We're laid back when we have to be, but when it comes down to arguing and making points, we do it. That's what Bret Hart did in that feud. So.
Yeah, exactly. And then
Bret Hart's symbolic of our
show
technique.
Yeah, he even gave me my method for my Monday Night Raw ratings, even though they're not all 4 out of 10s. Especially they're 10 out of 10s when Triple H is involved, but that's regardless. Then I really enjoyed the Bret Hart versus HBK match. I mean, any of their matches, it's just a monumental match, and those two really are Iron Men in the wrestling world.
No pun intended, because you're talking about the Iron Man match, right?
Yep.
All right, well, I have a couple honorable mentions. I agree with Malloy's IC title because I've always said that's the most underrated WrestleMania match, in my opinion. But I don't want to copy his list. And obviously the Owen Hart match. I would just have a hard time deciding for me which one of the two, WrestleMania 10 or SummerSlam 94, because obviously they're both in different elements. One's in a cage, one's the opening singles, technical match. But they're great. And the chemistry they had, obviously, since they're brothers, was shown very, very well. So, there's that. So, that being said, they're tied for my number 5 because I didn't write down my number 5. But I'm going to do it right now. SummerSlam 91, Mr. Perfect. I'll write that down.
Oh, nice.
Great match, especially when it's headlined by a wedding with Randy Savage, who was already established. And the main event was 2 of your biggest stars, Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan, going up against the worst heel because of the war.
The match made in heaven and the match made in hell.
Yeah, I'm saying they're the headliners, but
right.
Everybody remembers what match. Bret Hart versus Perfect. And Mr. Perfect handed the torch to him as well as the IC title in the best way because it was a great match. And you probably never seen a match like that, I would say, after that was the first great all-around technical match since WrestleMania 3.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Which is Steamboat and Savage. 4 years before. But my number 4 is Diesel. Again, Bret Hart against Diesel at Survivor Series 1995 for the WWF title back then, WWF title. I just like that match because the good turn it made on Diesel. He was a face for a year, and Bret Hart was so liked, and he fought such a smart match, which was a street fight, that Diesel pretty much didn't get booed the whole match, but he got booed at times. And obviously the turn happened after that match when he powerbombed him. But it was just a great story to tell with the fans cheering and the way he used the camera wires to tie Diesel down and use a chair. It was just smart match used by a smaller guy compared to Diesel. My number 3 is British Bulldog at In Your House 5. It was in December of 95, the month after the Diesel match in Survivor Series. It was called Seasons Beatings, if you ever want to look that up on the WWE Network. Which you can get for
$9.99.
That was impromptu. But no, I just like that match too because that was actually a really, really bloody match. Something that hasn't been done in years in WWE. And everybody knows the chemistry that Owen Hart and Bret Hart had. However, you could actually say the chemistry was just as good. With British Bulldog and Bret Hart, especially like you said, Price, with their SummerSlam match in '92, and then that In Your House match in '95, which that was predicated on that. Like Bret Hart, the storyline going in was he never beat British Bulldog, and then they had a classic match, which was starting of his reign going into the Iron Man match. At WrestleMania 12, which is my number 2, like Malloy said, the Iron Man match with Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 12, and then my number 1 is WrestleMania 13 against Steve Austin. So, like I said, there was millions to choose from. You could have said Razor Ramon in 1993 at Royal Rumble. I'm sure you could choose any Jerry the King Lawler match, because as everybody looks at Jerry the King Lawler as like a comical guy, but he could actually wrestle.
He was a really good wrestler.
Yeah, I'm saying in the 90s. He
150 titles.
Yeah, exactly. What else am I missing? Like you said, Bam Bam Bigelow. We had a great match with Razor Ramon in that King of the Ring, too.
We had a good match with Jericho, too, in WCW.
Jericho, Benoit.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Look it up. I don't know.
Well, I believe him and Dean Malenko had some good matches also.
Yeah. I mean, all those technical wrestlers.
Yeah, all those technical wrestlers that pretty much came out of his father's basement.
Yeah.
So,
So, like I said, he's a legend, and even though we don't talk about him a lot, I mean, obviously we're wrestling fans. We respect what he's done and the legacy he left, so... We are the PriMalLow Wrestling Show. That's the wrap to episode 44. Tune in next week for episode 45, where we just pretty much go forward with Fastlane. But I know you guys like to do your sign-offs as always. So, Tom, Price, do them.
that's the bottom line, because Malloy said so.
I am not a nugget.
Oh, my God. That's a good one. Like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Stay tuned next week for episode 45. Until then, listen and take care.